Substance abuse and addiction is a major conversation at our state capitol this year.
Yeah, efforts to sort of rebuild New Mexico's behavioral health system are really flying through the roundhouse. But that's not the only way that state lawmakers are trying to make a difference.
Plans to increase New Mexico's alcohol and tobacco taxes are also moving forward. With that, let's get to Griffin Rushton at our roundhouse, because Griffin, a lot of people wondering how much more would we have to pay per drink?
I mean, I guess it depends on how expensive your tastes are. Democratic state lawmakers secured their first approval this morning on a plan to add a new 6% sales tax on all alcoholic drinks, beer, wine, liquor, you name it. That means a $10 drink would cost you an extra 60 cents. And the bill's sponsors say that's a small price to pay for a whole lot of good.
It's so important that we do this now for the future generations of our state.
Democratic state reps Joanne Ferrari and Michaela Lara Cadena say their plan to increase New Mexico's alcohol taxes, and by extension the cost, is meant to save lives. Nearly 1,900 New Mexicans died from alcohol in 2023, nearly 3 times the national average that year, and those rates are even higher in Native communities.
What we're hoping, and what Chair Ferrari has championed over many years now, is that we will see a change in consumption.
Their proposal would maintain the state's current alcohol excise taxes, redirecting the roughly $50 million in revenue to local alcohol alleviation programs, and their proposed 6% sales tax would generate new revenue for alcohol and substance abuse research and for the state's Indian Affairs Department.
New Mexico is demonstrating our values to actually consider where harm is the greatest and where we can send money to those that know what to do with it.
But alcohol is not the only substance state lawmakers are focused on this year.
Nicotine is the gateway to addiction.
State Senator and Dr. Martin Hickey says that's especially true for New Mexico's teens. Data from the American Heart Association shows at least 25% of New Mexico high schoolers and at least 14% of middle schoolers are vaping nicotine. And Hickey says that's a ticking time bomb.
You not only are getting addicted to it for the moment, but you are also potentially developing pathways when you are older in life that make you potentially more likely to use alcohol or other drugs.
So he's asking state lawmakers to increase the taxes on e-cigarettes and other nicotine products like Zyn pouches to hopefully decrease consumption. He's pitching a 40% wholesale tax on those nicotine products, leaving traditional cigarettes and cigars alone for now.
This bill really goes after those nicotine delivery systems because the kids are most susceptible. The marketing is directly to the kids. We need to keep the kids from starting that addiction pathway.
Legislative reports on both of these bills say there is data showing increasing the prices on alcohol and tobacco products does reduce consumption, but it is hard to predict how these specific tax increase proposals would impact New Mexico. Regardless, both of these bills are moving forward, but we're going to be keeping a close eye to see if the specific tax increases in both of these bills stay where they're at. There's usually a lot of back and forth over tax proposals here in the Roundhouse, and they're very likely could be a compromise on these down the road. Tessa, Trevor?